Around the World in 80 Days, Chapter 7, which once more demonstrates the uselessness of passports as aids to detectives. The detective passed down the key and rapidly made his way to the consul's office, where he was at once admitted to the presence of that official. "Counsel," said he, without preamble, "I have strong reason for believing that my man is a passenger on the Mongolia." He then narrated what he had just passed concerning the passport. "Well, Mr. Fix," replied the consul, "I shall not be sorry to see that rascal's face, but perhaps he won't come here. That is, if he is the person you suppose him to be. A robber doesn't quite like to leave traces of his flight behind him, and besides, he is not obligated to have his passport countersigned." "If he is as shrewd as I think he is, consul, he will come." "To have his passport visaed?" "Yes, passports are only good for annoying honest folks, and aiding the flight of rogues. I assure you it will be quite the thing for him to do, but I hope you will not visa the passport." "Why not? If the passport is genuine, I have no right to refuse." "Still, I must keep this man here until I can get a warrant to arrest him from London." "Ah, that's your lookout. But if I cannot—" The consul did not finish his sentence, for as he spoke a knock was heard upon the door, and two strangers entered, one of whom was the servant whom Fix had met on the quay. The other, who was his master, held out his passport with the request that the consul would do him the favor to visa it. The consul took the document and carefully read it, whilst Fix observed, or rather devoured, the stranger with his eyes, if from the corner of the room. "Are you Mr. Phileas Fogg?" said the consul, after reading the passport. "I am." "And this man is your servant?" "He is a Frenchman named Passepartout." You are from London?" "Yes." "Are you going to Bombay?" "Very good, sir. You know that the visa is useless and that no passport is required." "I know it, sir," replied Phileas Fogg, "but I wish to prove by your visa that I came by Suez." "Very well, sir." The consul proceeded to sign and date the passport, after which he added his official seal. Mr. Fogg paid the customary fee, coldly bowed, and went out, followed by his servant. "Well?" queried the detective. "Well, he looks and acts like a perfectly honest man," replied the consul. "Possibly, but that is not the question. Do you think, consul, that this phlegmatic gentleman resembles, feature by feature, the robber whose description I have received?" "I concede that, but then, you know, all descriptions—" "I'll make certain of it," interrupted Fix. "The servant seems to me less mysterious than the master. Besides, he's a Frenchman and can't help talking. Excuse me for a little while, consul." Fix started off in search of Passepartout. Meanwhile, Mr. Fogg, after leaving the consulate, repaired to the quay, gave some orders to Passepartout, went off to the Mongolia in a boat, and descended into his cabin. He took up his notebook, which contained the following memoranda: "Left London Wednesday, October 2nd at 8:45 p.m. Reached Paris Thursday, October 3rd at 7:20 a.m. Left Paris Thursday at 8:40 a.m. Reached Turin by Monte Cenis Friday, October 4th at 6:35 a.m. Left Turin Friday at 7:20 a.m. Arrived at Brinsley Saturday, October 5th at 4 p.m. Sailed off on the Mongolia Saturday at 5 p.m. Reached Suez Wednesday, October 9th at 11 a.m. Total hours spent 158 plus, or in days 6 days and a half. These dates were inscribed in the itinerary, divided into columns, indicating the month, the day of the month, and the day for the stipulated and actual arrivals at each principal point: Paris, Brindisi, Suez, Bombay, Calcutta, Singapore, Hong Kong, Yokohama, San Francisco, New York, and London, from the 2nd of October to the 21st of December, and giving a space for setting down the gain made or the loss suffered on arrival at each location. This methodical record thus contained an account of everything needed, and Mr. Fogg always knew whether he was behindhand or in advance of his time. On this Friday, October 9th, he noted his arrival at Suez, and observed that he had yet neither gained nor lost. He sat down quietly to breakfast in his cabin, never once thinking of inspecting the town, being one of those Englishmen who are wont to see foreign countries through the eyes of their domestics. This is the end of chapter 7. So we have Fogg, no nonsense, going right by schedule. He was kind of hoping to be a little bit ahead because, you know, you never know what's going to happen. Previous chapter, the person mentioned that the boat was a little bit late coming in. But that's not really that much of a matter because he's on the same boat from Italy all the way down to India. So a little bit late getting into Egypt. It's not too bad. If he makes it through the canal, makes it through the Indian Ocean, then he should be okay. And then it's by train across India. Now, he didn't look around the town of Suez, and you know, Eulalie and I, we go places, and we go to places just to look. It's like, hey, this sounds like an interesting town. So earlier we went to Accident, Maryland, because hey, Accident, what a fun name for a town. And we had cheese, and that's one of the things we do when we stop places. We hit cheese shops and get cheese because cheese is good.
We went to Hell.
We went to Hell. We went to Hell. There's a town in Michigan called Hell, and we went to Hell just to see Hell.
Ida.
And we went to Ida on the way to Hell. And the way we found Ida was I was driving along, I saw an exit. It said Ida, next exit. It's like, okay, get off the road. And Eulalie was like, where are we going? And I was like, you'll see when we get there. And we pulled into the town and said, welcome to Ida. And she's like, ah! Because, you know, that's Lolly's name is Ida. So the name of the town is Ida. And we got her a sweatshirt from the local high school with her name on it. Because the Ida Blue Devils. Blue Streaks. The Ida Blue Streaks. So, you know, she has this sweatshirt with the school's logo on it because, you know, the school is Ida High School and her name is Ida. But, you know, we go fun places. And, I mean, last summer when we were taking you, we drove west and we went to Lincoln. Or almost to Lincoln. Did we make it to Lincoln? No, we made it past Lincoln. Took pictures of you with sunflowers because sunflowers are cool. And, you know, part of the time I was thinking, hey, we can go out and see your cousins. But, you know, that's a little bit long of a trip, and I think your parents would have minded if we took you out of state. So, have a great day, and when you go places, look at them. Take a look around, see what there is to see, because although things may seem to be the same everywhere, there's always these little differences in places and little interesting things to see.